Um, I kept seeing this visual today of like an old video being ejected. And I realized that what it meant is that it's time for our old inner script to be renewed. We can't keep looping the same inner script that we've acquired over the years through our experiences, and have kind of pushed us onto a path that we're not really meant to be on. Okay, and I'm talking about we as a collective. Like the shadow side that I was battling before I started recording again yesterday, it was about, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? And what happens when you don't listen to your heart, and your heart, your deep inner knowing is saying this is what you're meant to do, this is your life purpose, and you let your brain kind of take over and plant seeds of self-doubt. It's like these are the tests that I'm talking about, guys. Okay. And it comes in many forms. It comes from our own internal script. It comes from what we absorb from what other people are saying about us, that if what we're doing is right or wrong, or if you allow those seeds to grow, it's going to inhibit your own purpose. Okay, what you know internally in your heart to be true. That's like your intuition, your gut, right? So what happened was I allowed what other people were saying about my purpose, my life purpose, to cause self-doubt, and that really messes with your confidence, right? But it's also good because it shows us that what we need to work on, where the weaknesses are, right? Because it shouldn't matter what anyone else says, and this is something that I say all the time, and it's something that has to be perpetually worked on, guys. Because it's not like, oh, you have a deciding moment. Okay, the rest of my life I'm not going to care what anyone else says, and I'm just going to follow my life purpose. It's like, and especially when it's from people that you care about, it messes with you, because it gets you thinking well, am I doing the right thing? Is this really what I'm meant to do? And then it kind of clouds your judgment, and that's what I meant by I wasn't in the right space to portray those messages. And to be honest, I didn't want to do a recording yesterday, guys. Okay, but the energy shift was so strong. I wanted to share that with you guys, but I'm happy that I did, because I passed the test. And then today, massive crown chakra upgrade, just tons of downloads all day. Okay, that's your gift when you pass your tests, is wisdom, more ascension. Okay. I didn't allow what other people were saying about me to interfere with my life purpose, and I came back stronger. Okay, and that's the message that I wanted to pass along to you guys today about why we're tested. This is the reason why. It's to make us prove we are who we say we are, and again, it gives your light work something to stand on. Okay, and you'll be gifted with more strength, more courage, and more wisdom, ascension. So that's just a perfect example of why, because I was thinking today, why we're tested like that. And it's to make us prove we are who we say we are. Okay. So yes, I do follow the messages that I share with you guys from my spirit guides. And I mean, my self-doubt was so bad, I was like, do I even have spirit guides? Am I just crazy? And it's like, no, you guys, today they made it very clear, like, you passed the test, we're here. Okay. And then they gave me a ton of messages to pass along. I can't pass along all of them. It's just, I'd be recording all day. But I wanted to pass along the biggest one, which is why we're tested. Okay. It's about integrity. It's about, authenticity with self, like being honest with yourself, because the truth will set you free. Right? So yeah, that was the biggest message. And also just, I kept getting this image of like a tape being ejected, like an old tape being ejected. Like it's time to get rid of that old inner script, guys, and build a new one, a healthier one, a more solid one. So I wanted to pull some oracle cards for that. What's interesting about, tarot is there are a lot of tarot readers that do not get messages from the divine, but they know how to do a reading really well, just by knowing what the cards mean. That's not the way that it works for me, guys. Like, I never learned tarot. Okay, I use it as a tool once I was aware and could communicate with, or hear the messages that were being communicated to me from the divine. I just automatically knew how to interpret the cards. I didn't like take a class or like learn. Like, I'll read the booklets just because every tarot deck's a little bit different. But I use them as a tool, because if I just came on here and I was like, oh yeah, my my dead great grandma and my grandma wanted me to pass these messages along to you from the afterlife, like, you guys would be like, what? No. But if I pass along the messages and confirm it with the cards that come out, it's more, you're more receptive to that, right? I mean, honestly, I would be also. So that's why I use them, but also they also give me a deeper meaning to the messages that I receive. Like it like gives me more detail. Like, yes, it backs up the messages significantly, but it also gives me more detail. Like, it's like reading a paragraph versus a chapter, right? Like, I kind of get a summary and then I get like more in detail with the cards. So it is nice to have. I don't have to use this, guys, to get the messages, but it does help confirm them and also give more detail. Okay. So I'm gonna pull some oracle cards about ejecting our old script to write a new, healthier internal script, and also about why we're tested. Okay. What is the reason? What is the reason behind it? Okay. Other than that, I hope you guys are doing well. All right. All tied up? Yep. Okay. I'll go into these, guys. Second chakra, this one wants to come out. Door to romance, yeah. Attachments, that's coming out a lot. The thinking woman, okay. Walking away. This is a repeated theme right now. This came up in yesterday's reading as well. Walking away. Okay, let me go over these. So, all tied up. 2 and 3, 5, change, conflict. Okay. Yes, the tests that we are shown in our life are going to show us, are we ready? B, what do we need to work on releasing still? And C, what our attachments are. Okay. again, like, I'm a firm believer in not letting what other people say affect you. However, you guys, sometimes it comes in the tiniest little form, and that seed starts to grow, and it can be, you know, it can be like this. Like, look at this. She's behind these bushes, all tied up. It's just like that, guys. And it's breaking free of that. It's breaking free of that repeatedly, because you're gonna have this happen again and again, and it gets easier to break out of each time. Normally, what this person would have said to me would have caused me to doubt myself for first, like, probably months after. I'd still be thinking about it and wondering if there was any truth to it, but this time it took me about 3 days to get through it. So that's just an example. Okay, it's going to get easier to deal with each time, but it shows us what we still need to work on. That's what these tests are for. Are you really free of attachment? You know, if there are still some attachments or ways of, you know, thinking out of fear, we need to still work on trimming that away, right? It's just like that old tape deck that plays on repeat in our, you know, our subconscious script. We need to work on building a new internal script, guys, so that we don't get this way. That old tape needs to be ejected. This is perfect visualization of what that inner script is doing to us. Okay? And it's causing a lot of conflict, and that needs to change. 2 and 3 and 5. All right. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel. The second chakra is about creativity and nurturing self. How perfect is that? So this is definitely one of the chakras that is blocked right now. And if we work on releasing these attachments, and that came up twice, by the way. Okay, attachment, mask coming off, not being chained down in a self-imposed prison based on things that, you know, that we're letting get to us. Find creative ways to break out of that, guys. All right. Spending time outdoors with just your soul family, like putting away the computer for a while. I know that's hard right now because of the pandemic and the air quality from the fires, but it is improving. Okay, it is improving. So you can still do this in creative ways, even if it's just in your, you know, your front yard, your backyard, whatever, taking a walk. That will really help to get the creativity flowing, and it's about self-care too, guys. When you start feeling depleted, make sure that you replenish that. Okay, don't let that internal script block this. All right, eject that tape to create a new internal script that's healthier. All right, not based in fear or attachment. Okay, that's keeping you in that self-imposed mental prison. At the heart of the reading, door to romance. But look at this heart, you guys. It's a lock on the cage. This is really interesting because it's like right there through that door, right? But the heart is a lock. I feel like this is like our brain. What our brain is doing to our heart space when we try to talk ourselves out of things or logic our way out of things. It blocks this, right? And it leaves us feeling like this, like there's no escape, right? It's right there, guys. It just needs to be unlocked. You have the key. See how there's like a keyhole in that heart that's on the cage, and it's right through that door, right? This is exactly like my intro summed up in one card. When you have a deep inner knowing, right? That's your intuition. You shouldn't let what other people say affect you. Those are your tests to make you prove you are who you say you are. Okay? This is door to romance. I don't take it in like a romantic sense for this reading. I'm more focused on the image that came out for this. Okay? And 3 and 3 is 6, which is balance. Okay? So it is an equal balance between head and heart, because you still want to be smart and wise, but listen to your intuition too. Don't ignore your deep inner knowing, guys. Don't ignore that deep inner knowing. Okay? And be all up in your head. Okay? It's not a fun place to be, and it's a test. One of my favorite brands is Thrice, and I've loved them for years, since I was like 15. And what's interesting is, as I got older, their music started to evolve. They evolved as a band, just as like I was evolving as a human, right? And their music always matched up with my evolution, like their musical evolution. And so they've been like my favorite band for years. And what's interesting is, after I awakened, I started seeing their music in a whole different way, because the lead singer is totally a divine masculine. He's definitely woke, for sure. And I had to go back and listen to all their songs again, because the perspective, like their musicianship is amazing, but their lyricism, or the lyrics, my perspective on what their songs meant completely shifted. And there's a couple lines that I was listening to them today when I was working out, and there's a couple lines that really stood out to me. Faith is like a fistful of sand, and then in another song, faith is like chasing the wind, right? Sometimes listening to your intuition, or trying to follow your soul's deep inner knowing, like your subconscious whispers, it's like squeezing a fistful of sand. It's like the harder you try, the more sand is going to come out. Like, you just can't capture it. It's like chasing the wind. Like, you can't capture it, right? How do you gain control of that type of situation? By just being open to receiving. What's meant for you won't pass you. And like just hearing those and like meditating on those lyrics for a while, like completely restored my my strength, you guys, and it shifted my perspective again. Because why is it so hard when you're being tested, right? It's because of ego. It's because of ego and expectation of outcomes. If you release all of that, guys, this cage will unlock. All you have to do is be. Don't chase. What's meant for you won't pass you. All right? The harder you grip, the harder you try to control, the harder you try to chase, the more elusive that thing will become. Just be grateful, all right? Be present in the moment. Eject that old footage of what was from the past, like playing over and over, and just be in the moment. And that's when you'll be open to receiving what's meant for you. All right? Yeah, the fact that this came out in the heart of the reading is like, this is the whole message I've been receiving all day summed up in one card, guys. Okay, and then attachment. Again, what's interesting, see how she's attached, and 2 and 3 is 5. Attachment, 5. Conflict, change. This is what we need to change, guys. This is what's creating a lot of conflict in our life. Okay? Don't control, right? Don't chase. Remain authentic. Go back to your heart space, right? From a place of love, creativity, nurturing for self and others. But also 3 and 3, equal give and take. 6, balance. Okay? Don't let energy vampires drain you. All right? Have healthy boundaries. That also is represented on this symbolically in this card. Have healthy boundaries. Don't have a guarded heart, but have healthy boundaries. Not like 3 and 3, equal give and take. Reciprocity in relationships. Okay? This message is amazing. Lots of stuff coming out for this. And it's backing my intro, so you guys can tell, right? The thinking woman. Yeah, so this is can be about overthinking, but it's also about someone who has a lot of wisdom. Okay. Do you see how she has this book in her hand, right? Don't ignore the lessons that you've learned, guys, right? Use that knowledge to apply it to your life, and that's when it turns to wisdom. That's ascension. That's ascension. And you'll be granted with this when you pass the tests. These are the tests, guys. These are the tests, okay? This is the blockage, right? This is the blockage, right? Just remain authentic in your heart space, balanced. You'll be granted with ascension. I promise you. Just be authentic. You know, the tests are here so that we can prove ourselves to ourselves, not for anyone else. Just so, you know, for example, if you're like, yeah, I do, you know, I want a new start, you're going to be tested. How bad do you want that new start? Okay? Just like, you know, for example, yes, I, you know, practice mediumship and use tarot as a tool for that. And I tested, or I passed my test, guys. And I was granted with more ascension today. It's the same for you guys. All right? A lot of it has to do with love, self-inner script, things that have happened in the past, codependencies. That's what I'm seeing on the table. A lack of self-care. You guys, we all need to work on that more, okay? Self-care, creativity, your passions, all right? And then walking away. Walking away. So what's interesting about this is she's in a garden, right? And the gate's closing behind her. And this was a strong message in that reading from yesterday too, the 8 of Cups, walking away towards that 10 of Cups, right? Also, the story that I said yesterday in the video was particularly about me and my daughter taking her dog for a walk to the park, and she was going down a path where there were trees connecting over top and there were silkworms falling, and I'm scared of worms. And I'm watching her walk away with the dog to go have fun at the park, and I'm like, I can either sit here and be scared or follow her down that path because I want to spend time with her, right? This is what it reminds me of yesterday when she was walking down that path, and I was like, I can either sit here and be scared or I can overcome my fear and go get her, go with her, right? What's meant for you won't pass you, but it does require overcoming your fear, guys. That's a perfect symbolic representation of the energy from yesterday and today. Because if you don't and you sit there in your fear, right? You're gonna miss out. You're gonna miss out. And this was her looking back at me like, okay, I'll be back. You can stay there if you're scared. And I'm like, I'm not gonna let my irrational fear of worms stop me from going with her. Okay, this is perfect for that, you guys. Obviously that's on a much smaller scale, but apply it to like the larger things that are happening in your life right now. What are you like hanging on to out of fear that's inhibiting, you know, that's kind of leaving your heart guarded, locked up in a cage, inhibiting your creativity and your nurturing for self, right? You guys know already. Thinking woman, you know. It's just about applying it. And once you pass those tests, you'll be granted with more ascension, more wisdom. Okay? And it will be worth it. It will be worth it. So that you're not in that 5 of Cups energy, regret, sadness about things that have happened in the past. Eject to that old tape, guys. Time to write a new script, alright? Alright, so let me clarify some of these. I think I'm going to use... this one, Nicoletta Ciccoli. I like these cards because they're mini. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna use this deck. Maybe that was like a sign. Maybe not. It was probably operator error, but that's never happened before. So maybe they don't want that deck. Let me see. Let me try a different one. I'll use Joy de Vivre Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. That's really funny. It's never happened before. What's funny is I was choosing between this deck or the other deck that just fell on the ground, and I ended up choosing the other one. So I don't know. We'll see what comes out. All right. Right away, 10 of Cups, guys. What was that reading yesterday? You can't make this shit up. 8 of Cups was walking away. The next card that came out yesterday was 10 of Cups. See, already that's never happened before, by the way. Okay, so 5 of Swords, conflict, winning at all costs. Interesting. That's all in line with this 5 at the top, right? And 5, attachment. This is a really strong reading. You can already tell. I understand why they want me to use this deck. Okay. Eight of Wands. This is about moving forward, communication, okay? See how he's going away on the rocket? This is so in line with this, right? Walking away. It's not 8 of Cups. It's not 8 of Cups. It's 8 of Wands. This is about quick action with determination. Like, Wands represent passion and determination. Usually this indicates a message, some type of communication. And literally, this was all tied up. I was talking about our internal script and that repeating visual image I got all day about an old tape deck being ejected and time for a new tape. This has to do with communication, the way that we talk to ourselves, right? That causes us to be in that fear. This makes perfect sense. This is all about the way we talk to ourselves, how we communicate with others, what others say to us. That was also in my intro about us feeling this way, what others say to us, not letting it affect us in this way. This is why we're tested, guys. Okay? Second chakra, Archangel Ariel. The Hangman, yeah, perspective shift. Perspective shift. So do you remember yesterday in that reading how the Tower card was the first tarot card on the table? That's a complete crumbling away. It's ego death. It's a complete perspective shift. It goes hand in hand with the Hangman. This is being vulnerable. This is being open to the messages that the universe is communicating to you. This is being open to shifting that perspective, the way that we talk to ourselves, shifting our perspective from what we hear from others that affects our creativity, our self-care, right? And leaves us feeling like this. This is amazing. This is so amazing. I understand why that deck fell on the floor now. Door to Romance. 6 of Wands. Yeah, ego. All right, so 6 of Wands is an interesting card. It's about victory and success. Its shadow side is ego, right? See how this person is kind of like dancing for all these little bugs down here? All these little creatures, and there's like the star of the show. It can represent ego, guys. And what does that do? It's a guarded heart. It's only when we can be vulnerable, right? And be honest with ourselves and with others that we open our heart space. Ego death, the tower moments, the Hangman, shifting our perspective. This is all about ego death. Ego death. Being vulnerable is a strength, guys. Not having a guarded heart is a strength. Okay? Not letting your mind overpower your heart space. Okay? Interesting. But also, when you do that, you're victorious. right? That's success, right? When you're able to do that. When you're able to come from your heart space, have a balanced heart and head, and not have a guarded heart, and listen to your intuition, your deep knowing about your life purpose, your life path, what you know to be true in your heart. That's what will bring you success. Not from a place of ego, right? I don't do this to show off to you guys or anything. I never put on makeup for these videos. I never do my hair. I always have my bangs sticking up right here. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is getting the messages across to you guys from my spirit guides. Okay? So yeah, not coming from a place of ego, following your true life path, what you know to be true for yourself. Okay? That's what will bring success and victory into your life. Allowing the ego to crumble away, shifting your perspective on that. Attachment. The wheel. Karma. The wheel of fortune. This is the carousel of karma. This is all about attachment. Cycles, codependencies, everything. These are the tests, guys. These are the tests. Are you going to get back on the wheel? If so, for how long? Are you going to decide to get on again after you get off this time? Right? The wheel is the carousel, my carousel of karma card. Those cycles. Right? And it has to do with codependencies. This is very clear. This message is very, very clear today. I completely understand why they wanted me to use this deck. Yeah, that's amazing. All right. Oh, 2 came out. 6 of Swords and the Hermit. Wow. King of Wands. Wow, you guys. Okay, so passing the tests, right? Getting off the wheel. Ending those karmic cycles. Ending those attachments, right? Those codependent attachments. In regard to ego, what will they think of me? Am I, if I'm vulnerable and open my heart space and I'm honest, that's bad. I can't do that. I can't allow that because I'm strong, right? That's how I'm just giving examples, guys. That has some truth to our inner script, right? We have to change the way that we talk to ourselves. We have to change what we believe to be strength versus weaknesses. That was also in my intro. It shows us what we need to work on, right? It shows us. And that's a little bit of blow to the ego. Be like, wow, I thought I was good about not letting what other people say to me get to me. It showed me, guys, I still need to work on that. Okay? But I was able to get off the wheel much quicker this time. All right? And then you're granted with more ascension. That's heading away. 6 of Swords came out. Heading away from turbulent waters to more peaceful waters. This is also in line with walking away. This is another card for going away. Okay? So we have that multiple times here. And that was very in line with yesterday's reading too. Walking away, leaving to head towards more peaceful waters. Okay? And then we have the Hermit, which is about inner work. And this is right under the thinking woman. Knowledge, wisdom, ascension, inner work, guys. It's going to show us what we still need to work on internally, and we'll be granted with more growth. We'll be gifted with more growth if we pass those tests. Okay? If we pass those karmic tests that are based in attachment. Okay? This is this is my intro, this message. It's amazing. And then King of Wands, yeah. Being a leader in regard to your passions. That is this card, guys. Second chakra. Creativity, inspiration, self-care. King of Wands is that. He's a passionate leader. Okay? All about inspiration, creativity, passionate pursuits. But he's the king. He's like the master in that, right? We need to really focus on working on this second chakra, guys. Uncage your heart. Have that perspective shift. Be vulnerable. See it as a strength, right? King of Wands wears his heart on his sleeve. And I'm not saying that, you have to be all heart. It's just a balance. 3 and 3, equal give and take, mind and heart, but also in your relationships, right? I'm going to pull a couple affirmators just because this is a time for working on our shadow side, okay? Thinking woman, knowledge, wisdom, and the hermit. This is a time to go within, work on our shadow side, leaving behind what is unhealthy, guys, based in fear and ego, our negative inner script. It's time to rewrite all of that, guys. Okay. Level up, level up, level up. There's no going back. As I said yesterday in my reading, we're at the Fool card, you guys. This is the start of the next chapter in our life. There's no going back. Okay, it's time to eject that old tape. It's time for a new tape. I accept the things I can't change. I don't even have to shuffle. Okay? Level up, level up, level up. There's no going back. I accept the things I can't change. Perfect. Let me pull one, because I haven't even had a chance to shuffle yet. I open my heart to receive love more fully. Are you kidding me? That's the heart of the message. That was my intro too. When you don't chase, right? What's meant to be in your life won't pass you. The firmer you grip that fistful of sand, the more sand is going to come out. The faster you try to chase the wind, the more it's going to evade you. Okay? When you can truly receive is when you're in the moment. You're not worried about the past. You're not replaying old inner scripts or old conversations over and over or whatever. Okay? That's when you can be open to fully receiving what's meant for you. These are the tests, guys. This is very, very specific. I mean, this is amazing. Okay. Also, I'm letting go of achievement and embracing alignment. That's this. This Six of Wands, success, victory, ego, right? It's all about that achievement. Okay? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna catch the wind. I'm gonna get that whole fistful of sand. Guys, it's not about that. It's more about being in alignment. Okay? That is, I mean, this message is so specific today. Okay? Because when you're in alignment with yourself and you use the knowledge that you've gained as wisdom to apply it to your life, that's the perspective shift. That's being vulnerable. That's releasing the ego. And that's being in alignment with your authentic self, guys. Okay, that's when the heart space opens. All right. This is an incredible reading. So yeah, sorry that whole deck spilled out, but there was obviously a reason they wanted me to use this deck. Anyways, I hope that helped you guys. And yeah, just your tests are there for a reason, guys. All right, it's a chance to prove who you are. Okay, I'll talk to you next time.